And we're live. And we're live. Alright, so what were we talking about before the camera turned on? We were talking about saving money.
Yeah, saving money. But I don't want to take away from your introduction, so
what were we talking about
please.
before the camera turned on? We were talking about... And I gotta turn the Twitch music off. There we go. Okay. So, yes... This is an unusual stream in that I've already come from just a little podcast going on over there. And but I still want to work on this map. And so we're going to be working on a new map tonight. New for you, not new for me. I've actually been working on it off camera, and it's called Salt Wolves of the Whale Road. And it's for Gallant Night Games. And it is basically, here's the story behind this. It is a map for 100 AD. Maybe 950 AD. It's in the middle of the Viking era. And it is a map used by Vikings, but drawn by a monk. And so it's going to be heavily illuminated. It's going to have that heavily detailed sort of feeling, but it's going to have this vibe of all things Norse. And I have been, this by the way, these two things in the middle of the screen are not my work. I'm using them to swatch colors off them. I have been working on this border here for a while. In fact, why don't I turn off those two swatches right there? This is what I've been working on. And we're going to add, obviously, monsters to the seas. We're going to add little, all of the settlements that Vikings would care about, including those raiding points. We're going to add those to the land masses. Rivers would get marked on this. We're going to add some mountains, maybe some forestry. So lots of detail to the land to do, but I wanted to work on the coast, on this border. I have been thinking about this border forever. It's beginning to take shape. And tonight I'm going to colour Yggdrasil. That's what I'm going to actually be colouring, because I am then going to make it gold leaf, and you are going to fall out of your seats when you see it. It's going to be utterly beautiful. So with that said, hi Jack.
Hello, my dear. I know it's what was the phrase that we coined last week? Maps and Movies Monday with Alyssa and Jack.
I thought it was like Movies and Mapping Madness or something.
That's what it was. Movies and Mapping Madness.
Movies and Mapping Madness.
On a Monday. With,
oh yeah, Monday's Moving and Mapping Madness.
That's what it is. Monday's Movies and Mapping Madness with Alyssa and Jack. That's what it was.
I'll actually have to start actually making the titles of the streams match that. Because that's cool. Because these conversations always typically start dipping their toes into movies and the likes, whether we've watched them, we want to watch them, or any conversations spinning off thereof.
Yeah, so sometimes conversations about, some themes or things that we like or don't like. So, I'm okay with it. But on to the previous conversation about money. It was just one of those things where, the discussion came up, to those watching this later, either on the repeat over on your YouTube channel or what have you. The obviously with COVID and with quarantine and all that kind of stuff, a lot of people are realizing that there's a lot of things they used to spend on a regular basis, things they used to buy on a regular basis that now they don't need. They didn't need it in their life. It was just something that they wanted. And we got to talking about how, I once read an article of somebody who went to Starbucks every single day, and they spent, when Alyssa and I go to Starbucks, we get a nice big coffee and the little breakfast sandwich or a little breakfast wrap or something. So we'd end up spending $15, $20, but we would never go every day. It would be once a week or once every other week kind of a thing. Well, this article was from a person who went to Starbucks every day, on their break, and that either went twice, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. And on those days, it was just a regular coffee. Or on some days they'd only be able to get out during their lunch break, and so they got a bigger special one, one with that's a tall one with frothy bits and all special flavoring. Either way, every day they spent about $10 to $15 every day. And or like, $9.99. And for them, like psychologically, they were like, well, I'm only spending, round up, I'm spending like $10, but that's okay. I have a good enough job that I can do it. It's not like I'm breaking the bank on that. But then they started, somebody pointed out how much money it was, and they decided, for a year, instead of going out and buying coffee, I'm gonna, every time I want to go out where I would normally go get a coffee, instead I'm gonna log it like in a spreadsheet and see, like, after years time how much money I would have spent going to, and like, if it would have been, today's one of those days where I would have got 2 drinks, so let me log, this number times 2 into this chart. And I don't remember the final number, but it was a ridiculous amount of money that they ended up saving by not going and getting, and I think a lot of people don't think of that when they think like, oh, I'll just go get fast food for lunch. Well, if you get fast food every day for a week, if you would have just gone to the grocery store and bought like a loaf of bread and some meat and made yourself a sandwich every day, it would be so much cheaper.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, there was a, I don't want to call it a salad bowl place. I forget what the name of it was now, underneath where I used to work. And if I ordered from there, it was like, $10, $8 maybe. So not a huge amount of money. Easily the amount that you would ignore. But do that, even just 3 or 4 times a week, you're staring at like $30. Right. Now, so what, you're spending $120 a month. So what, we're dealing with like $1,200 a year? And it's like, holy shit, okay, so that's $1,000 freaking dollars I could have saved if I'd made myself a sandwich instead.
Just on salad bowls. Exactly.
Just on salad bowls, yeah.
And even places that seem like they're a great deal, like, Subway has that like big old sandwich for like $5. Well, it's like, okay, well, 7 days in a week, sure, if you bought a really cheap sandwich every single day for a week, that's $35. But a loaf of bread and some deli meats to make your own sandwich, because that's basically what Subway is. It's basically just deli meat. That, like, a loaf of bread is like $3. And a thing of like sliced meat is maybe like $7, so that's maybe $7, so it's like 10, so it's like a third of the price, assuming you were getting the super cheapo sandwich at like a Subway. It's so much cheaper to just go to the store.
And I'm a big huge fan of the train of thought that says, look, you live life once, have fun with it. And I get that. There was a guy in England that said that to me. He was like, "No, I want to buy a nice car because I could be dead tomorrow." I'm like, "Yeah, okay. I get that. I truly do." But when you start adding up the money that you're spending, you start going, "Okay, yes, but I could have actually saved this money."
Right. Yeah, I would love to be able to eat burgers every single day. I only live once. If I get really crazy overweight and I need to get a robotic chair, please don't let me get a mechanical chair.
No, I will never let you get a mechanical chair. I will stab you in the neck.
Okay, well, do it to justify the chair, because then I'm paralyzed, because it's fine. If you're gonna do that, make it worth it. Hey, Dungeon Tube. But it's like, I get it. I get I'm now eating something that I enjoy. I don't want to just like be like, ooh. I mean, exercise and balance and health to one side, I get it. But if it's you need to make sure you have the, financial stability in order to do this, and not, make yourself go into debt just by eating out or buying a car or, those types of things. I don't know.
And all of this conversation started because I think my hair came into it, or certainly became part of the conversation, because I would spend $160 a month just getting my hair done that I haven't actually done since COVID hit. Now, while my hair is a bit of a mess right now, granted, I have saved $160 a month. And so that's been a big, huge saving. And Jack was saying, I bet you can't wait to actually go back to her, right? And part of me is, yes, absolutely. I want to get my hair done, get a nice little bob cut, get it all nice and dyed, make it look all pretty again. But also part of me does not want to fall back into the habit of spending, what? $1,800 a year on my hair? That's a lot of cash. That is a lot of cash.
Right.
Dungeon Tomb, I thought I spoke to you about your book. I thought I responded to you. Yes, so in theory, the book is going to ship to me, and I'm going to sign it and send it to you, okay? So I haven't received the book yet, but yes, we should be good for me signing your book for you, okay, darling?
Nice.
That's something that Dungeon Tomb won. I think it was over Elisimus, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's one of it was one of Pex's personal collection books. So, and it's a copy of Teagle, and I'm gonna sign it for him.
Nice.
So we actually caught it in time, Dungeon Tomb. It hasn't shipped out of the country yet. I'm gonna actually get it signed for you. Looking forward to it.
Nice.
By the way, look at this. By the way, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one's in the chat right now that's really going to see this, but I'm just going to do this real quick. Look at that.
So I'm a bit of a delay.
Yep,
so
wait for the delay.
Wow, there you go. That's
right.
fantastic.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm just painting a layer that I can convert to this gold. Look at this. Oops, look how much that just stands off the map. And I haven't even painted the rest of this bloody border yet.
Oh.
That's just going to be incredible.
Nice. That's very cool.
So this is what I wanted to get done. I wanted to kind of finish sort of... It's almost like I'm masking this layer of Yggdrasil. So I could convert it to gold. Gold. And you do see Denmark, my friend. You do, because this map is all about your type of people. This is a map about the Vikings. About 1000 AD, something like that. I think that's what I told the client, 1000 AD. It might be 950. I wanted it to fall right into the middle of the height of the Vikings. So that's what this map is.
And I apologize, what was the name of the client?
Salt Wolves of the Whale Road.
Salt Wolves, and it was by Noble Knight, you say?
Gallant Knight. Gallant Knight Games.
Gallant Knight Games, my apologies. Ultra Magnus 71. Hello.
Hey, Ultra.
Yeah, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
So, guys, I'm just like colouring in. Well, I'm not even doing that. I'm kind of marking off Yggdrasil here, and because it's going to get converted to a gold colour in a second once I've finished with this. But I've got to get these branches done, and then I can convert it to gold. Hands off, and I'm going to start painting the rest of the border. And I know that there have been people that have been wanting to see me do black and white work again, and we've been doing that on Necropolis recently. So I want to now start inserting this Salt Wolves map into our Twitch streaming. And tonight is the first time that we've done it.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I think it's going to be one of my most beautiful maps I've ever done. I think it's going to be poster worthy. This is going to be an incredible poster. Yeah, Ultra Magnus, if you weren't in the channel earlier when I converted this to gold, let me know, and I'll show you right now how this little puppy is just going to pop. It's just going to pop. It's going to be an incredible piece. So, Jack, mapping and movie madness, do you know what you're watching tomorrow?
I don't know specifically. Funnily enough, that was actually a topic that I was actually just thinking about. Because I've been kind of on a Kurosawa kick. Mm-hmm. I've watched Sanjuro not too long ago, and I just watched The Hidden Fortress not too long ago. There's a couple of his films that are like big. Ultra says that they did indeed see the gold.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So there's a couple of others of Kurosawa's that I have yet to see that are ones that I should have seen by now. Like there's Kagemusha, and there's let me pull it up real quick. Anyways, but then there's another one that's like a lot of people consider to be like his best film, and hold it in critical acclaim a lot, and it's called Ran or Ron. But that film was like 3 hours long. I thought I had seen it a long time ago, but looking into it, I was like, I don't think I've actually seen it. It's his movie that's basically it's like his epic. It was like his last epic that he did. It has like big battle scenes and that type of thing.
I want to say I've heard of it, and for me to have heard of something, I mean, maybe you've spoken about it before now.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the one that's based on Shakespeare's King Lear. Like it's not based on it, but it's like inspired by King Lear, which is kind of, similar to like his other film Throne of Blood, which is, basically a Macbeth, and it's super, like a lot of people consider it to be one of his best ones, even more than Seven Samurai, even more than Rashomon, even more than Throne of Blood or what have you.
So is this high on your list for tomorrow?
It really is. The thing that's holding me back is the fact that it's 3 hours long. I'm kind of like, ugh.
But if you started watching it like 5 or 6 o'clock at night, I mean, you're going to be done by 8 or 9.
True. Yeah. If
you had a break, you're going to be done pretty early on.
Yeah, if I had a break after the day job and, let's say I gave myself an hour and, started at 6, I'm still, watching it till 9. That's not that bad.
And you could do like the last one, I think you did in 2 parts, right?
That is true. If I wanted to, I could, wait till the weekend to watch it and break it up into 2 days. Watch the first half on one day and then the second half on the other. But I don't know, now that you made the argument that, especially since Tuesday nights, typically I'm trying to keep to now movies. Maybe I do just watch it in its entirety.
What tomorrow. Did you watch Tuesdays, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because it used to be Movie Mondays, but now it's Movies Mondays. Or no, wait,
Movies Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was a high contender. Or his other one, the Kagemusha, which I've also never seen, and that one is, how long is that one? That one straight up is 3 hours, 180 minutes. Holy Jesus. At least Ran is 162 minutes. So they're both really long. Maybe I'll watch Kagebusha over the weekend. There you go.
Yeah, I've not heard of that last one, like, at all.
I guess it translates to Shadow Warrior. Let's see. Which is according to this, is known as it's a political decoy. So it'd be one of those things where it's I know this one. You know what? I might have seen this one. I'll have to look into it more. But it's basically, like for the political figure, and they get a lower ranking person to basically be their impersonator to protect them against assassinations or that type of thing, or if there's public things, or if they're trying to put on a show that like everything's fine, or if they need to create like a decoy, like so and so is going this way, and so so if you're going to assassinate him, go after this guy while we're going to sneak the actual leader this way, kind of a situation.
Now, if you have seen it, would you rewatch it again?
I would, because apparently oh no, Dungeon Tube, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, if I have seen it, if I start to watch it and I go, oh yeah, I'm still gonna watch it, because it's one of those ones where if I saw it, it would have been right after high school and in a part where I was a bit chaotic in my mind and in my life at the time. So I would want to watch it again now with a clearer head. Diablo Bob, hello.
Good timing, Diablo.
Exclamation save. Ahoy.
And I literally just hit save. because I just colored in Yggdrasil. I'm gonna keep on working on this border, I think, because I want to see how it starts to take shape around the world tree.
Nice.
So, all right, Jack.
Yeah.
Yggdrasil or Yggdrasil?
Yeah, I have heard it as Yggdrasil or Yggdrasil. I don't know. My personal. Are you asking my personal preference? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, because you have an opinion on language, and you definitely have an opinion on the way I pronounce things. So,
well, you can pronounce things however you want, you know.
Most of the bad.
Well, okay. Sometimes when I find it like if you say it like that, that thing might be offended by that. You know, I will say, you know, if that thing could hear you, it'd go. No, I'm just kidding. Yggdrasil or Yggdrasil?
And for some reason, I've started saying Yggdrasil. I can't tell you why.
I always thought it was Yggdrasil, so that's how I think that's how I always pronounce it in my head. If I ever hear it pronounced differently from something that seems credible, then I would try to do my best to switch it to that. Like, you know. That's cool. So it's the entire, all of the... Oh, no, that's still part of the tree, right?
This is still part of the tree.
Okay.
I don't want to overdo the gold, but I do want the map to feel illuminated.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized I can actually paint. And the style just keeps getting applied. Which, I'm such a fan of this style. Like, I want more of a reason to actually use gold on my colorings from now on. This is such a great effect. But I don't want to overdo it, you know? You've heard me say so many times, less is more, less is more.
Right.
And this is a prime example. I want the gold to contrast with the color behind it. So I did realize that I missed some branches. So if I see that, I'm going to color the branches in. But otherwise, I think we're ready to color something else right now. Maybe you could get a little bit of love like that. There we go. It's such a good look. I am really digging how this map is coming along. It's so different for me, this type of thing. Yeah, it's real, Diablo Bob. This is the language of the Norse. Well, you've heard of Norse mythology, right? We've got Yggdrasil, the world tree, with Nidhogg, the serpent gnawing at its roots down here. This is the mythology of Thor. Because this is a map for the Vikings. Hey, Obsidian Risk. Thank you so much. I'm trying to kind of get that Celtic knot, Norse carving type of vibe going on. And yeah, a little bit of Celtic definitely crept in here, without a doubt. But I wanted like a carved wood feel. So there might be a little bit too much Celtic, but I'm like, for carved wood it looks good.
What was Thor's deal with the serpent and dragons? Apparently,
what was Thor's deal?
Well, because I mean, if he had beef with Nidhogg, or whatever his name was, the one that's gnawing the tree at the roots. I mean, his mortal enemy is Jormungandr, the world serpent that's in the water, the one of Loki's kids, and he's pissed, and obviously got beef with Nidhogg. So it's like, is Thor just like, is he just a dick to all the dragons?
Is Thor just pissed off at everyone?
No, I think he's pissed off at all the dragons of the world, because it's only those big giant serpent dragon things that apparently are his enemies. What the hell?
But, you know, in all fairness, I mean, isn't that a big, huge part of Norse mythology, is the whole dragon aspect of it?
That's true. I'm actually looking at this. According to mythology, there's also an unnamed eagle chilling out in the tree somewhere. I'm not saying add these to your thing. I'm just saying.
There's an eagle in the tree. Is there meant to be an eagle in the tree?
Well, no, it just says, there are numerous creatures that reside in Yggdrasil. There's Nidhogg, obviously, who's gnawing at the roots.
Okay.
There's an unnamed eagle. I don't know where he's located, or they are located. And then there are 4 stags, I guess, somewhere in the tree. They actually have proper names. There's Dane, Dvalin, Dunir, and Durafor.
Actually, send that to me, Jack. Just get that over to me, because I would actually like to add them. That would be kind of cool.
Sure.
Yeah. I want to see that happen.
I do know that the eagle is at the very top, and Nidhogg's obviously at the roots because that's where he's nomming. But I have no idea where the stags are.
And I think Diablo Bob is Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil. I can't roll. That fun fact about me, I can't roll shit.
Ruffles have ridges.
Yeah, I can't do that. It's just never, ever, ever, ever gonna happen. Can't do it.
Yggdrasil. See, I with the yig and the seal at the end, or the yig in the beginning, the dr in the beginning, in the middle, that for that drasil is yig. The G going to the D, my tongue can't do it. It's bleh. I might not have to. I won't roll the R. I'll just go Yggdrasil. Yig. No, Yig. I don't know. Fuck it. It's not. I know you did your best, but it's not phonetic enough for me. I need more phoneticness.
I need someone else to say it for me because it's just not gonna happen.
But yeah, no. Listen, I'm just on the wiki for Yggdrasil.
Okay, so what was the result?
Oh no! I'm for the information about of where they're located. Let me see. Let's see. Let me click on the stags. The 4 stags or hearts, male red deer, eat the branches of the world tree.
Okay. Oh, I think I've heard that. Okay.
So the eagle's chilling at the very, very top. Nidhogg's at the very, very bottom, and then the deer are spotted around Nomin.
See, that makes me want to just draw a big, huge deer right here. That'd be cool. All right, maybe just even if it was like well, actually, I think I just colored on. Yes, I did. But yeah, I'd like the idea of adding some deer into the mix because it's thematic.
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil.
So
was Diablo Bob taking the piss before when he was like, is that a real fantasy language?
I think the way that we were initially pronouncing it, I think he was like, is this a made-up word for some fantasy campaign?
Did he know all along? And like he's like, oh, children, please.
Oh, I don't think so. I didn't get that vibe. But then again, he's only writing in text, and so I have no idea if there's sarcasm in his typing.
Is this some kind of foreign language? I know, Diablo Bob, you're not taking the piss. Or are you?
He was saying the way we were pronouncing it, it sounded draconic. So he was like, "Is this like from D&D or something?" Nice. I always liked that the D&D 3.5 Races of the Dragon. They did their best to create a draconic dictionary or common phrases you'd say in draconic, that type of thing. I like that. So when I was able to play a kobold, because I like the reptilian kobolds as opposed to the dog-ish kobolds, I like being able to have common phrases or words I could throw out at the table in draconic. I can't remember any of them.
I get that, because when I played an orc, I wanted to have some orc phrases to hand, but I can't remember them for shit, so I spent half my time looking at notes, looking for an opportunity to say something, and then it just becomes fake,
Totally. Yeah, the only one I could remember is the one that I used on a regular basis was Vorel. I think it was Vorel. And it was the draconic word for like beautiful. And that's what my kobold called the priestess that was with us. You know, because she was the NPC cleric that was like because nobody wanted to play a freaking healer. And so we found a merc for hire at the local tavern kind of a thing. And it was one of those things when he came in, he was like, oh, she's like 6 feet tall elven woman, and I'm like a 2.5 foot tall lizard dude. It's like, she's so pretty. And so the draconic word for like pretty was like Vorel. So he would just call her, oh, Princess Vorel or Priestess Vorel. Beautiful priestess.
Now, did you remember that at the time, or were you like looking at your crib notes?
No, that was like the one word I remember because I said it like all the time. But like any of the other phrases, I had to like look at my notes. You know, I'd have to bust open the Races of the Dragon, like, you know, appendix and look up, you know, okay, what were those some of the phrases I could say? You know, but no. I'm like you. It's like I always wanted to, you know, use that kind of stuff. I wanted to have like those, you know, dwarven or orcish phrases I could like, you know, blurt out. You know, but I'd always forget. And then, like you said, you're spending then all your role-playing time just really flipping through your notes, trying to go, okay, I want to say this, but when should be the opportune time to say this? Now you're not actually role-playing. Now you're just sitting there looking to a chance to jump in with something.
Yeah, even when I was trying to learn Quenya, for me it was the same deal. You know, 99.9% of the time, I was looking for opportunities to say a phrase. It kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah. The only time I've done it and it worked, I think, is when I've used phrases or things as a GM. Because you can have an NPC say something that you've got written on a paper before they either peace out, or maybe it's how they greet you when you first come in.
Right.
And then that's okay because you're running the show, and so you're able to, all right, so cool, I'm going to have the elven barkeep say something in Elvish every time people come in. You know, like when you go into a Japanese sushi restaurant and all the Japanese, you know, chefs all like basically say, you know, hello and welcome, you know, in Japanese, they all like shout out. It's the equivalent of that. He says like, you know, come in and welcome, pull up a chair in Elvish. Okay, so how do we do this? Obsidian Risk. Is it getting hot in here? Draconic romance. Speaking of dragons and stuff, that Raya and the Last Dragon film came out this weekend, the new Disney film.
The Last Dragon?
It's called Raya and the Last Dragon, yeah. Surprisingly, it was the box office leader this weekend, but it didn't do as well as I expected. What do you freaking think? Of course didn't do as well as you expected.
So this was a movie, like a cinema release?
Yeah, it was. It was a dual release. It came out in theaters, and it also came out as a premium video on Disney Plus that you had to pay. I think it was either $20 or $30 to rent it, quote unquote, rent it for like either 24 to 48 hours. So like for a household, you know, it'd be like, you know, cheaper than, you know, buying 4 movie tickets for a family, you know, if it was like, you know, you have the, you know, 2 parents and 2 kids kind of a dealio, but still, you know, $20-$30 for a movie that you're not going to have after.
That's what they were charging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long they're going to let it go. I mean, that's what they did with the Mulan film as well, the live action Mulan. And I know after like X amount of weeks went by, they then allowed it to go to rent for cheaper, and then they allowed other streaming services to, you know, show it, to, you know, have it as video on demand as well. But yeah, it made, so I mean, worldwide it made 26 million. Domestically it made 8.5 million, which for a Disney movie is abysmal.
8.5 ain't brilliant.
No. Yeah, Diablo Bob says, learn some common conversational phrases and sprinkle it into interactions, so you aren't looking for the chance to say the
For me, though, the problem became I look for those conversational opportunities as well. You know, it just the way it worked for me. But it's because, I mean, I don't talk Quenya in real life, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's not like I became fluent in Quenya. I didn't. So I need to now, you know, I basically am I'm prepping certain words and certain phrases in my head as something I can say.
Yeah, if you were part of like a group of either like live action role players or people that wanted to translate certain parts of like Lord of the Rings into Quenya or something, and you were trying to do your best to have conversational dialogue while you're all hanging out, cool. You'd get more comfortable with it. You'd learn how to use things in certain ways and learn how to say things at certain points in a conversation. But if you're not doing that, then it's kind of hard to just casually do it. Like you said, you're spending all your time going, all right, I need to find the right point in a dialogue when I can say this.
And yeah, Diablo, you're right. The whole assuming you can find a movie theater open.
True.
I'm actually, I mean, I guess I know there are certain states that have relaxed or will be relaxing. But the whole, I don't know, movie theaters seems like I can't even imagine going to one right now, like at all. I could see me going to a restaurant before I went to a movie theater.
Yeah. The local theater that we used to go to before this whole thing happened had actually started to do movie screenings, and they had a very spaced out, limited, amount of seating. So each of their theaters, I mean, it already was a limited one because of the specialty type of theater it was. But instead of being able to cram in, like, let's say, I forget how many it was, let's say 25 people, I think they had it reduced down so it'd only be able to be like, 10 to 12 people in a theater. But still, it's like, I don't want to go into a theater with a bunch of people.
Are they still going, by the way?
They are. However, they have started a GoFundMe to try to raise money because they are in dangerously close to going under.
God, that's such a freaking shame.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a shame.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when a independent independent business like that, who's already had struggles in the past, was on their way back, coming back from their financial woes and being able to get a good experience, a good movie going experience going, and then this has all happened, and then it's like, man, it's really unfortunate. And the sad thing is because, especially with like a business like that, who's trying to look for, the community to help them out so they can stay around, especially with the pandemic is as it is. I mean, I don't want to obviously bring the conversation down, but with it as it is, people are struggling themselves just to live, just to exist, just to pay their own bills, pay their own rent. It's really, it's really unfortunate, but it's the reality of our current situation. It even when this whole thing is past us, and once people are vaccinated and we're able to beat this thing, I don't think economically we're going to recover for at least a decade minimum. I think there are so many far-reaching effects on this for so many places. Heck, if you think about it, like some of the restaurants in here in Portland that we used to love to go to are now gone forever, with no, they don't even say like, hey, when this is all over, maybe we'll try to come back. No, they report like, we're done. Thank you so much for all of your years, your decades of patronage, Bye-bye. That's it.
Well,
We're
one
done.
would think and one would hope that from the ashes a phoenix would rise, new business opportunities, new restaurant opportunities. That's what I live in hope of.
I do too. I do hope.
For every restaurant that closes when things start to return to normal, there will be, other restaurateurs looking to open something,
Right.
I'm really digging this right now. This is such a cool looking map.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, Diablo, it is absolutely worldwide impacting.
Worldwide, yes.
I guess I can do white. I guess I could do white. I want a contrasting color here. Well, I guess I could also do brown. I could do brown. What color do I want to make these characters? In fact, let's just drag a couple of other swatches into the mix here. Here we go. So I grabbed some medieval illuminated pieces that might be useful here. Let's see what we've got. Got this. Okay. Oh, you're a big boy. Okay. Oh, you are huge, sir. All right. Let's turn these off and let's take a look at them one at a time. So we've got this one. In fact, let's make that a little smaller. Kind of obnoxious. All right, there's some colors that we could take out of that. That's interesting. And actually, you know what I noticed about this is the characters are actually individually colored. They're not just all one color. So we could individually color shit right here.
Yeah, definitely.
We could get into some detail on that. And that is just huge. What the hell am I looking at here? Oh, not you. Okay. So beautiful. Just so freaking beautiful. I like the cream color on this one. And the purples.
Yeah, the purples are very nice.
Yeah, there's promise on that one. This one I think is funny. Searching for medieval illuminated drawing, and we've got a knight absolutely wrecking the day of another knight.
Ouch. I had to do a double take there. I was like, does the knight who's getting his head stabbed, does he have a shield that says hello?
I know, right?
So I was like, wait a minute, what?
Hello. He's like, fuck off. Alright, and then we got this one, which is it's pretty. It's pretty, maybe less usable. And I think this is the one that we saw to begin with. Is that another one? I think we already had that one, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then this one. Which, I don't think I can use that. I'm going to get rid of that one too. Alright, which leaves us with that one. This is the Three Kings, isn't it? That's what this is. Three Kings following the star type of shit. And this one with the purples and stuff, which is nice. And then we've got Ouchie Mac Outerson right there. Let's put him here. Okay. I'm feeling let's roll with this for now, and let's get our little details drawn in here. Diablo, trying to stay Norse themed. Norse? This is Norse themed as a Christian monk is drawing it. Okay? That's what this is. Why do you ask? All right, so we can absolutely do flesh like this. Let's start there. Oops. There we go. No, but why do you ask, Diablo?
So this is for the Thor on his chariot and on a ship. Ooh.
Well, it's not Norse on a ship. It's probably Norse fighting the serpent right there. Maybe it is Norse on a ship. I kind of figured it's just a Viking on a ship, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, so just so Thor fighting the serpent, but just a normal Viking warrior on the ship they're coming in.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think that will work.
So Diablo was just asking a general question. I guess they had a horrible week or so today was hellish. So just trying to keep his mind.
You know what? I'm sorry that you had a horrible week, man. That freaking sucks ass.
So, yeah. So just asking about the overall theme of the thing and wanting to keep it all Norse, or not, and that type of thing. So that was all. Just curiosity.
Yeah. So this map for Gallant Knight, I'm not actually sure how it's going to get used. Okay. I'm not quite sure the context of what adventure they've come up with. Oh, I need to actually do some drawing here. But it's my understanding that they kind of have this Norse-themed 5e game, and it's Viking era. I'm not sure if you play a Viking, but it's certainly Viking era. But they wanted it to look like a monk had drawn this map. I don't want to diss on the Vikings, but if a Viking drew this thing, then it's probably going to be on deer hide, right? Which we know from Cave Geek can look absolutely beautiful. But they wanted this to look like you just roll this thing out and it's a thing of beauty. So that's what we're shooting for. But it is 950 AD. We have to stick with that type of vibe. This is like my Britannia map, but 600 years later, 800 years later, for some context.
Nice.
And this is one reason why I'm trying to actually dip colours of actual versions, because I kind of want to just keep it honest to the source material. We can still come in and do some highlights and things like that, but I just want the base colours to be, yep, this was taken off an actual manuscript. Pre-Crusades, yeah, actually, yeah. Now you're mentioning it. The actual period was kind of up to me. The client was Viking era, and the Vikings were 850 to 1100, 1200, maybe not as late as 1200, but so I'm like, so what is Viking era? And so for me, I kind of just sort of came up with something right around the middle of it. But that was kind of like something I decided on personally. This is going to be great. I wanted the vibrancy of colour that the original illuminated manuscripts had, and which is really not my style normally, but I think this is capturing it. I really do. Obsidian, thank you so much.
It's funny, when we played Earth Dawn all those years ago, my wizardy type character, he wasn't a monk and he wasn't a cleric, he was a wizardy type, but this is what he did. That is his thing at the school. He illuminated manuscripts. So this was the type of thing that my character would have done. Back then.
Perfect.
So anytime I see illuminated pages, I'm like, I have a role-playing connection with that.
You know, I've always known what illuminated manuscripts are. This is the first time I've actually really looked at them now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, like really looked at them.
Right. Like in like close detail. Ooh, excuse me, got a bit of a hiccup.
Especially down to colours and things like that. I think it's looking good. Diablo plays Dungeons and Dragons on Saturdays online. Tell us about it, my friend. Tell us about it.
Same group or different groups that alternate? Diablo Bob is currently playing a level 6 Paladin Warlock. Nice. Oh, the same group every week? Okay, cool.
Oh, I want to play around with this. Oh, I want to play around with that a little bit too. So this wood in the background, I actually want to make it look like proper wood. And I'm noticing that Photoshop has this built-in style here that could work. Oh, they have a freaking marble. After all of that hand drawing of marble on the Acropolis, are you kidding me right now? They have a marble texture. Well, thanks, Photoshop. Preach.
Much appreciated.
They even have fur and stuff in here.
I'm gonna go, just so you know, it's not a complete, let down on it. I'm gonna say your marble's better than what they would have been able to produce.
Well, now I'm curious. Now I'm freaking curious, you see.
Now, don't look into it. Wait a minute.
No, I'm doing it. I've added a layer. I'm putting it up here. I'm gonna do roughly that, and then I'm actually gonna go up here, and I'm gonna go. Well, that doesn't actually tell us anything, does it? Hold on a sec. See, that's not bad. That is not bad.
I know there's a delay on the stream on my end, but I'm gonna go with their marble sucks. If that's
well, no, this is wood. Hold on.
No, I know. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you.
Oh, there's the marble.
I'm gonna wait for the stream to catch
There
up.
is an oddity to it, but that's not bad.
Yeah, it's like one could argue. I mean, one could make the argument that yes, that is marble, and it's true. And I wouldn't. If somebody used that, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, that doesn't look like marble," because it does. It looks like marble. That being said, I do think the marble you did. Now I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. Is a little better than that.
There is this weird diagonal line on it, which I'm not understanding.
Oh yeah, that is a bit peculiar, isn't it?
And yet, when the minute I did the second marble, the first one with the diagonal line disappeared. But it's a good marble. But I mean, you now have to use the Photoshop marble. It's like, yeah, but what if I wanted purple or black? You know?
Right, and Diablo Bob is pointing out that you can actually tell that it's actually the same stamp pattern design.
Yeah. No, I hear you on that. And I think for this type of effect, it totally works. But yeah, for big blocks, like drawing the Acropolis, the whole floor, you just start to see the pattern. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
And I bet you things where it would probably be a little bit more indecipherable, like the fur or the wood, in larger areas probably would be okay. But the marble pattern like that, where it was a very distinct marbling in the stone, it was evident of the step, slightly different, intensity of the color. You know, because a little bit, sometimes it was a little lighter on one part of it and then other, but it was clearly the same stamp.
All right. Oh, no. I am drawing on the wrong layer. Let's get rid of that. Okay. That's better. Alright, now we're cooking on gas.
Bringing films again.
Yeah.
Also that came out this weekend, which nobody has numbers for it because the studio has, most of the streaming services do not release their numbers, was Coming to America 2, which came out on
didn't
Amazon
you hear that
Prime.
that was actually not good, that it was bad?
I have heard from a lot of people that I follow that it was not good. It was they're trying to capitalize on a comedy that came out 30 years ago or more, and trying to do a follow-up to it, and it wasn't one of the guys I followed said, you know, he didn't laugh a single time in the entire film.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
For a comedy.
Right. For a film that's supposed to be amusing, if you don't find it amusing, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. That is extremely unfortunate.
Right. So, you know, it was one of those things where it was just like, you know, if you're gonna watch it, you know, watch the first one. It's way better. There's no reason to watch the second one.
But isn't it fair to say, as much as I loved him back in the day, that Eddie Murphy's had his time?
I think he has his time. He's not whooshing in from Magnificent Pecs.
Hey, Pecs, were you on the Frog God thing, the giveaway that they were doing? Is that where you've been? But carry on, Jack.
But yeah, no, it is one of those things where he is not a he has headlined a couple of things recently, but it's, you know, trying to continue doing the same kind of thing he'd done in the past doesn't work anymore. So his stuff, it seems like his stuff that he's not doing his usual shtick, whether he's playing a side character or he's playing the main character, but it's a different type of movie. Those are the ones that seem to be the projects that people are appreciating him in more. But him trying to go back to his style of comedy that made him is what, you know, what made him famous. That's what seems to be lacking. And I don't know if it's, you know, maybe it's whatever writing team or group of guys, you know, that are working on it, if he's writing these things, or if it's like a group of people that has been with him for years and they're trying to, you know, keep doing the same kind of humor. That I don't know. It makes me kind of want to look into his last, you know, decade of films that have come out that haven't been great, to see who the writers are on them. But it does seem to be that there's definitely some, you know, the usual style of comedy that they, you know, that he kind of caught in the rut of, just doesn't hold up anymore, which is unfortunate.
It is. It's like watching a star burning out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, as much as a fan I was of those movies back in the day, I've got to be honest with you. The humor, for the most part, is older now, you know.
Right. Pecs confirming, yeah, there were lots of winners. They had to raffle off 32 winners. Whew.
I kind of figured you might be over there. The minute they were saying they were raffling off stuff, I was like, yeah. There's no way they're running that shit on their own.
No rest for the wicked.
Well, this is what we've been up to, Pecs. Illuminated scrolls. This, by the way, I think is going to be the most detailed corner of this particular map. My intention is not to do this all over. It's because we have Yggdrasil. Yeah, totally not pronounced that way. In the bottom left, there's this big iconic part of the map, filling out the sort of ocean void in here. Everything else is going to be a little bit more, or a little bit less, a little bit more sustained. Smaller.
I don't know what just happened right there.
A brain seizure.
I guess the question is do you need another beverage?
Probably not, right? Probably not.
I know. I think that this is where the barkeep comes over and says, cut off. Peck says, I think the last film I enjoyed Eddie Murphy in was Dreamgirls. And that was because I had no idea he could sing. You had no idea Eddie Murphy can sing? Don't you want to party all the time? Party all the time? Come on now.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not allowed.
Oh, I'm going to link the video into your chat.
No, you're not.
All right, Pex, look it up. Eddie Murphy, party all the time. It's bad. And the music video is real cheesy. Oh, that doesn't count? Oh, okay. All right. What do you mean that doesn't count? It was the lead single off of his How Could It Be music album. Come on now. It was the only single off that album. It singles being, generous. Well, I guess it was a single. Whether or not a single is successful as a whole thing.
Yeah, it was a single. Right.
Yeah, see. But no, joking aside though, no, he's I have heard his role in Dreamgirls. He was like one of the side characters was really good, but but I think that was one of those things where he wasn't doing his usual shtick. A, he wasn't the lead, and B, he wasn't doing his usual stereotypical Eddie movie shtick. So, many people said that he was like robbed of a Best Supporting Actor nomination or
for
win
what?
Even. Well, for Dreamgirls. Now look up, was he nominated or no? Ooh.
Phantom Jen, welcome and thank you for the subscription. 7 months, Phantom Jen. 7 months, darling.
Nice. And Brian, hello.
See, you can tell the people that are pouring in from the Frog God channel right now. They've got their prizes. They're now coming over here for the secondary prize.
So yeah, he did indeed get nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Dreamgirls, but he did not win. But that's okay. And yeah, the first Shrek movie, he did some good voice acting as Donkey in the Shrek movies. That character was really very amusing. But if you think about it, though, I mean, that movie came out 20 years ago. So.
Well, and I would argue too that voiceover stuff is fine, but when you're trying to take lead and you're doing the writing or whatever,
Right.
that's a whole different ball game altogether.
Right.
I'm not sure that's gonna work. I need a contrasting color.
What
I'm
do you
running
got?
out of contrasting colors.
Jed is saying, time for them jelly beans.
There's no jelly beans. Jelly beans don't exist on this channel. No sensei.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that you got a giant jar right above your head. Just saying. Yeah, and one of the other recent ones that he did that was really well received was the Dolomite is My Name. But if you think about it, though, I mean, that's Eddie Murphy. He's not doing his tried and true comedy style. It's a different kind of comedy style for that. So it in my opinion, that it ended up being a success for him because he wasn't doing his shtick. He was playing as an actor. He was playing as a real life guy. Rudy Ray Moore, excuse me, who did the the Dolomite film, and then the follow up like Human Tornado or whatever it was. And he was playing the guy who's trying to get this movie made. So it was funny because the guy was humorous and the whole situation around it was funny. It was very similar to like The Disaster Artist, where it was about them trying to make The Room, with Tommy Wiseau. It was that kind of thing. But if in that regard, though, it wasn't Eddie Murphy's, quote unquote stereotypical comedy style. And I think the writing on Dolomite was better. So I don't know. We've got sequels coming out for relative soon. Yeah, Coming to America. Yeah, and that's what actually kicked off this conversation, Pex, is the fact that Coming to America, I heard is not good. I heard it's not fun. Beverly Hills Cop 4. That hasn't even entered production yet, so I have no idea when that's going to be out.
See, that's a movie that I think will be a little sad, but I think it will fail.
Yeah, let's see. In November of 2019, Paramount Pictures announced it had licensed the property for Beverly Hills Cop to be distributed by Netflix with options for additional sequels after that. But May 2020, after delays in filmmaking business caused by the COVID campaign, the directors that had been, the co-directors that had been hired to do with the film said that they were still attached and that there was a new screenwriter working on the script. So that's the last we heard about it. Is as of May of last year, the two directors said that they were still attached, but there was a new screenwriter on board to write a new script. So that could be years out. Yeah, I agree, Jen. Sequels are hard, and sequels 30 years later are even harder.
Because it's hitting a completely different audience at this point, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, you're banking on people that have seen the original and enjoyed the original to come in and see it. And, newer audiences are going to be like, what is this film? And they might try to watch some of these older comedies and be like, wow, these comedies have not aged well, or maybe they have, certain politically correct issues and either representation or the writing or anything like that, and maybe just people don't attach to it anymore, don't connect with it.
Like you and I rewatched all of the Beverly Hills not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go to the cinema to watch them.
No.
And that's not me being an arsehole. I'm just not going to go to the cinema to watch another version. And you and I were all into it.
Right. Yeah. Like we watched. Yeah, if it was like, it's gonna come out next month, and it'd be like, oh yeah, we recently watched all those. Those were a lot of fun. Okay, it's coming out in theaters. You want to see it? I'd go, no, I'll wait till I can rent it for $2, $3.
Right.
If that. I'll wait till the reviews.
I feel like they're putting too much weight on people wanting to watch something that came out, 30 or 40 years ago?
Mm. Yeah, let's see. It came out. Yeah, 88. So yeah. Freaking 30 years ago.
There's no young movie-going audience out there now that's going to spend money on that.
Well, that's kind of a weird thing to say, Pegs. He says, for actors in decline, I feel that Brendan Fraser and Val Kilmer are dimming candles, in my opinion. Well, Brendan Fraser left acting for a very long time because of personal issues. And Val Kilmer left acting because he became more interested in stage acting, and then he got throat cancer. And if you listen to interviews with him now or look at him now, he's not the same Val Kilmer we had. So those are kind of two very strange things to say for dimming candles. If it was somebody who was in the spotlight all the time, but they're not getting as much attention. Nick Cage is a perfect example that you listed. There you go, Nick Cage. Yeah, he's a guy that's working all the time, but his movies just seem to be getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Akko Dokin, good to see you. I will zoom out in a moment to show you Salt Wolves of the Whale Road. So, ignore the guy getting stabbed in the face. I'm using that as swatch colours. This is a map I'm working on. It is a Viking map as drawn by a Christian monk. So we're going with a very colourful, very illuminated look. I'm down in the corner here right now as I'm just kind of getting this proof of concept going on. I've got Yggdrasil all coloured in with our gold illumination, and I'm kind of doing the corner details next. And I think what I'm going to do is then actually draw the wood in the background. I think that's where my head is at. We're going to take it from there. So yeah, this is kind of, it's a little bit different for me. It's a little bit different. But I think it's going to be one of the most beautiful maps I've ever done. And it's going to be all border. I think it's going to be just an incredible border.
Which is funny because you always joke how you're not an artist, you're a cartographer. You do maps, but you've proven yourself wrong by clearly showing you've got some artistic chops there, Missy.
In a simplistic way, sure.
Never the modest one. Brian McWhirter. Roger Ebert is a dimming candle in the film critic realm due to him being all dead now and stuff. Yes, that would be put a damper on your film critic career if you're dead, you know.
When did Leaving Las Vegas come out, though? Wasn't that a while ago? Am I misremembering?
Yeah, that was like 94.
This is before the decline of Cage, right there.
Yeah, let me look up Nick Cage.
I mean, didn't Cage basically start having tax problems or something? He started spending money on stupid shit. Like, there was a guy that, I think he literally bought, like, sharks with laser beams on their head. He just started spending money on ridiculous shit. Started having all sorts of financial problems. And therefore started just any old freaking project. He would accept it.
Right. And it's actually 95, Pex. 95.
That was pretty early on for him.
Yeah. But yes, you were 100% correct. He was spending money on so many things.
Like, there was some stupid shit. I don't know what you're on, channel-wise or website-wise, but see if you can find some of the stupid shit he spent money on. I read an article about him once, and some of the shit that he bought was ridiculous.
Brian has yes, Pex, the Oscars usually come out the year after a film comes out, for the most part. That's how that works. Brian McWhirter, didn't he buy a castle and have it shipped to the US? Whew.
Maybe do a Google search for ridiculous shit that Nick Cage has bought. Alright, so what color do I want to do this shit? Do I want to do a green background? Green? Do we do green? Feeling this should be green.
Let's see, dinosaur skull, multiple yachts, multiple castles, islands, two in the Bahamas, 2 Bahamian islands.
2 islands, multiple castles.
Multiple yachts, and like a pyramid tomb, a dinosaur skull, a Tarbosaurus, supposedly. Supposedly he bought a shark and an octopus. A Gulfstream jet? What? Yes, and Akoto Ken brought up the fact that he had the first Superman comic, the Action Comics #1, which is one of like the rarest comic, if not the rarest comic like ever. But that kind of made sense because Nick Cage is a super huge Superman fan. So if he had all that money and he's like, I want to buy the first comic book that had Superman, you're like, all right, that one kind of makes sense because.
But the point where you're buying multiple castles, multiple yachts, multiple islands, this is a guy that's spending money like it's going out of fashion.
Right. Yeah. Just the dinosaur skull he bought was $150 million.
$150 million to own a dinosaur skull.
It's like, why? But why though? But why? Ooh, a collection of shrunken heads. Ooh, no. Why? Yeah.
He was spending money faster than he was earning it, without a doubt. Dungeon Tomb, yes, saw Hugh Grant as a new villain for the latest Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Nice.
I'm just staying quiet on the new Dungeons and Dragons movie, only because they've been so bad historically. I'm kind of hoping that if I don't even have an opinion on it, they'll manage to break the curse.
One can only hope. With how, yeah, it depends on the writing and the acting and the special effects they put into it and the practical effects and all that jazz. But the plot of the original one was really bad.
And I'm not 100% convinced that just getting big named actors fixes everything. So I'm curious. I'm curious what they'll come up with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Prime McWhirter. Nick Cage took the MC Hammer 3-day personal finance workshop. Yeah, there's another guy who lost all his money on stupid shit and then ran into tax problems later. Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping they get a good cast. I'm hoping they get some good writers, and a good team behind it, producers that know what they're doing, and doesn't allow the studios to meddle. Obviously they want it to make money, but if they're more focused on action figures or that type of bullshit, I mean that's, I just want them to make a good movie with an intriguing plot. Maybe even dip into some, old school adventures that people love. Try to make wrap a script around those. Create a villain who's compelling, and you could see, continuing on and being a villain for a while. So. Phantom Jen, Mr. Cage bought a home in my hometown, and he gave my mom a gold-dipped rose. It was weird.
What?
Anyways.
What?
That's kind of weird.
Let's try this wonderful sort of lilac purple type of color that we've got going on here. And you know what? Let's do this. That's going to be green.
I apologize. Is that green and that purple pulled directly from the illuminated that you've got?
Yes.
Nice. They are good colors. They work very well together.
Yeah, I basically want to get this to a point of throwing in the wood background so we can see how this is going to look on the rest of the map. It was green, 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 green. I'm missing something. That this was green, 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 green. There was something here that was meant to be green. shit, what was it? Ah, here. There we go.
I was gonna say I'm on a bit of a delay. I can see a bit, but I think you got it already.
Got it.
Yeah, that was it. That was the one I could see. But yeah, I want to say it's like a 7-second delay.
Yeah, it doesn't help when people are trying to point out, you know, places that you've missed like that.
Mm-hmm.
The delay is a killer. You know what? Let's do this. Kind of like coming up the back here. Oh, that's a nice contrast, actually, isn't it? Oh, that's a nice contrast. I kind of like that. Yeah, I think we can roll with something like this.
Nice. Little accents and all that.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go too crazy with the accents. But, you know, the original kind of scrolls have them. So if they've got them, I should throw them in.
Totally. Like you said, you know, this is supposed to be that, you know, the monk doing this map by hand. You know, just like the examples that you pulled from. So...
Magnificent Pecs is pretty. It is, isn't it, my friend? It really is. I'm going to try something now. I'm going to try that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to... I've got so many layers and shit here. I do need to clean up these layers, but because I'm not really familiar with drawing this style of map, I don't want to merge shit unless I'm super, super, super confident. Like, this is why I got all of these water layers. But we're gonna now do waves hatch. Where's my frame? Where's my frame? Frame right there. That should be my wood underneath. Beautiful. Can I just do that? Probably not. It's a little light, I think. I know it looked. You could see the pattern in it. Not sure if that works. I kind of imagine darker myself. It's a little bit too light. We might have to hand draw our own.
I was going to say, is there any way to take the you know, the preset one and adjust the settings on it?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, that's... I don't even know what that is. Dirt. Okay, that's dirt. C. Alright, well, whatever. What's this one? What is that one? What? Photoshop. Tell me what that is. Alright, let's get my mouse. Bark. Okay, bark is pretty good. Bark is pretty good. Actually, nice. I kind of like bark.
Mm. Yeah, considering it's way darker than the light wood one you had before, this almost seems more in line with what you were saying.
I think I might stick with the bark. Got plenty of colouring to do, but that actually has a nice contrast with the gold and the greens and the purples. Yeah, I think that might work. Let's just zoom out a little bit, turn off our swatch. Let's see what that looks like. I think that could work. Let's get this so it's not behind my head or anything. Yeah. Maybe we'll do a little bit more blue down the bottom here because like water and shit. Blue and greens down the bottom, purple and greens up the sides. I think that's what we're staring at. I think this is pointing in the right direction.
Yeah, it's looking pretty spiffy, I must say.
So I know this was a weird night because I was on Goddammit Zach before this, and then I jumped straight into this. But I think this is a good point to end Salt Wolves of the Whale Road. Not Whale Wolves. That would be weird. Salt Wolves of the Whale Road tonight. I wanted to see how Yggdrasil turned out. I wanted to make sure that the colouring of the border was going to work. I think this is going to be good. This is going to have to be a big poster to show the details that I've got going on in the corner. But that's okay. In the book, if they print like this, it's just there's things going on. And I think you can tell that there's like a serpent and a guy riding a boat there. But on a poster, and they are going to do posters, that shit starts to pop. So I'm kind of okay with it.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Yes. So with that said, we're back tomorrow at the regular scheduled time, 5:30 Pacific time. And then the same on Wednesday, and we're going to be drawing Necropolis for Frog Guard Games. Objective is to get Necropolis finished by the end of the month. So that's where we're at. I will then be streaming this map at least once a week. And then when Necropolis is done, we're going to bump it up to twice a week. So that's kind of the cycle that we're on, the cadence. We'll be back tomorrow. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me tonight. It's really, truly appreciated. And Jack, I want to appreciate you for hanging out with us as well.
Well, of course.
Magnificent Pax, I don't know what you want me to say 3 times fast, but let's just say 3 times fast, 3 times fast, 3 times fast. Everyone, I'll see you tomorrow. Necropolis is what we'll be working on. I love you all. Thanks for hanging out with me. And if you want to follow me and just get other hints and tips and things that are going on, check me out on YouTube, Alyssa Faden Studios, or check me out on Patreon. I'm here to give you the joy of mapping. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow night.